Okay, I'm Michael Fleming. I'm here at Monte Vista High School. I'm the auto shop instructor, and I have a customer that came in and she's going on a road trip and she wants to make sure she's not going to have a battery problem. So we're going to go over right now how to verify that the battery is in good condition. But not only that, make sure the alternator is charging and that the starter draw is appropriate. So I already used my DTAC. My DTAC showed me that I potentially could have a battery problem, but I'm going to verify it for sure with my voltmeter. Okay, it did have a great cranking voltage, so it had a 10.5 volt cranking voltage, pulling 115 amps, and that tells me that I had less than 1 ohm resistance in all my cables going from my battery down to my starter. That includes positive and ground connections. So less than 1 ohm resistance on my battery and starter circuit is really good, which is showing you how Ohm's law works. It also checked my alternator. My alternator was charging at 14.2 with the no loads, and then 14.24 with loads. So we just finished the DTAC. I want to show you how to do it with the voltmeter, because the voltmeter is just so much faster than the DTAC. The DTAC is also very expensive. You get a voltmeter really cheap. So let's go ahead and do this with just the voltmeter. I'll take this off. These are my voltmeter, or my battery terminal leads. It will not show you amperage. Only a clamp-on amp probe will show you amperage. So when I use my voltmeter, I am not going to be checking amperage. I'm going to be just checking my voltages. So first off, I'm going to turn it to DC volts right here, which is the V with the dots. Okay, and I'm going to hook it up to my battery. I have these little special clips right here. Okay, and they just screw on. So I'm going to just clip it right onto my battery terminal. But when I do this, I'm also checking to make sure my battery terminals have no corrosion and they're nice and tight. Okay, I'm also making sure there's no battery contaminants on the surface of the battery as well. So everything's good. My battery mount is intact. In case the car gets in an accident, rolls over, you need to always have this attached to keep the battery secure. So I'm happy with the mount. I'm happy with the connections. And let's see here. I just ran the car and I'm actually happy with the voltage. It was charging a little bit, and it's up to 13 volts right now. It should be at 12.6. So, I'm kind of happy with that as well. I would expect it to see 12.6 because each battery has 6 cells. Each cell produces 2.1 volts. That's where you get the 12.6. All right, so that is my static voltage. Now we need to check my cranking voltage and my running voltage. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my right here where I can see it, and I'm going to make it where the car won't start. So over on the fuse box right here, I have an EFI fuse right here, EFI fuse right here, 20 amp. So I'll make it where my car will not start. Pull that fuse out, just stick it right there on the side. Now I can crank this car, and there it will not start, which is what I want. And I want to crank it for like 5 seconds and get a good voltage reading. All right, here we go. I expect to see a voltage drop, but I don't want to see it go below 10.5. Underneath 10.5, 10 to 10.5, it's going to be slow cranking. Do. Below 10, probably will be a clicking. Click, 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 nothing. Okay, so you'd never want to see it go below 12.6. Oh, no, sorry, 10.5. And I'm holding right at 10.5. Perfect. I'm happy. Notice the car did not start, and that's because I pulled that fuse. All right, now we go ahead and go back. I'm going to pull that fuse. That is like a battery load test. So these special testers right here, they load test the battery, but you could do the load test naturally with the starter. You don't need the special tool to get a load test. So now I'll put this back up right here. And now I'm going to start my car, and I'm going to turn on all my loads, watching all my voltage. Now, look at this. We're at 13.3. So cranking that car, sorry, 12.3 volts. So cranking that car brought it back down to below 12.6. So it goes to show my alternator is working already, because I was at 13. Now I'm at like 12.3, 12.4. Now the car is going to start. I expect to see 13.5 to 14.5 voltage. So let's see. Immediately it went from 12.3 to 14.24. I'm good. So now I'm going to turn my headlights on, put my high beams on. So I want to make sure I have high beams. Actually, I should turn my wiper blades on. So I'm going to take this voltmeter, hold it. I'm going to turn on my wiper blades. Turn my fan on. Turn my air conditioning on. Should hear it click. There we go. And I should maintain a high voltage on 14.24. So I'm happy. All right. Last thing we should do, and by the way, I'm rehooking it back up because I did disconnect it when I pulled on it. I want to see my voltage when I'm running or revving the car. So let's go ahead and redo this. I want to start it with all my loads, but I want to rev it. All right. I'm at 14.1 with all my loads on, but when I rev it, I want to see the voltage increase. And I saw it go up to 14.22. I'm happy. And now when I turn it off, look at that. I'm at like 13, 13.3. I turn my headlights off, take the key out, and that is checking my alternator. So, as a rule, I'm happy with my battery, I'm happy with my starter, and I'm happy with my alternator right down here at the bottom, and I'm happy with all the connections. There's one last test, one more test.